showing thing. There are some exchange students from other countries. Please, let's welcome them. So, this is Nikita. He's from Ukraine and he studies at Arapaho High School. This is Tanya. She studies at Alma High School and she's from Ukraine too. This is Andrei. He studies at Arapaho High School and he's from Spain. Yeah, my bad. This is Tanya. She studies at Alma High School and she's from Kazakhstan. And they're going to tell presentations about their countries. So Tanya and Nikita are going to start first. Let's watch their presentation.
Okay, so our presentation is about Ukraine, country where me and Tanya are from. So, you want to learn some words in Russian or Ukrainian? Oh, this one.
Okay, so we came from Ukraine. My name is Tanya and this is Nikita. And our Ukrainian national symbols are blue and yellow flag. Then kvezul, it's our national seal and national anthem. Ukraine's glory has been yet died in our country.
So this is the map of Ukraine. I come from this region, right here.
Yeah, and I came from western part of Ukraine, and you can see like different colors. It's kind of like our states. So there's 24 of them. And
So geographical position of Ukraine. Ukraine is situated in Europe, in its eastern part. It borders with 7 countries, and the longest border is with Russia.
Ukraine is one of the largest countries in Europe. Actually, it's the biggest one, except for Russia. And it borders 2 seas. One of them is Black Sea. You can see it right there. And tiny little Azov Sea. It's not big at all. It's kind of more like a lake, but it's salty. So.
Ukrainian currency is called a hryvnia. You can see some pictures of hryvnias. They're considered to be very beautiful currency. And $1 is 26 hryvnias.
So, next part in Ukraine, we have, in western part, we have mountains, and they're called Carpathian Mountains, and they're considered to be Green Pearl of Ukraine. People really like to go there for their vacations and for holidays with their families and friends, and just to spend time there. In winter, they really like skiing and just having fun. Here's some pictures.
So our country's capital, Kyiv, is one of the oldest cities in Europe. I think it's around 1500 years. So, and according to the legend, it was founded by 3 brothers and their sister. And this is the monument in our capital in honor of them.
Now some differences between United States school and Ukrainian school. There are a lot of them, but the main differences are that in Ukraine we cannot choose our our classes. We have to have like 25 subjects 1 year. So every day we have different schedules, and sometimes schedule changes every semester. So our school is from Monday to Friday, and like we start school like at 8:30 and it's till 4 p.m. And we have kids have like 5-minute, 10-minute, and 20-minute breaks. It depends on lunch too. Like on lunch, usually we have 30-minute break.
So So another difference, Ukrainian schools are not focused on sports, so every sport is separated from high school. You go to a special place after classes and practice. So Ukrainian kids have a lot of homework and you usually don't get any grades for your homework. But if you don't, turning the assignment in time, you'll get in trouble and get an F grade. And we have a different grading system.
Other thing that we have to wear school uniforms to school. It's usually white top and like black or dark blue bottom, like pants or skirts for girls. It is our grading system, so 1 is the lowest grade, so if you got 1, it's like an F, and if you got 12, it's an A grade.
So traditional cuisine, Ukrainian cuisine is considered to be one of the top 20 tastiest in the world, according to the website right here. It's extremely nutritious, it's greasy, but it tastes really good.
I really miss it. So the first one, it's called borscht. It's really famous one. It's a soup and it's really popular. And one of the main ingredients is beetroot that gives the soup red color. And other ingredients depend on family or just a person. We usually add some potatoes, meat, and beans. And we usually serve it with sour cream and paprika. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but basically it's like donuts, but they are salty.
And another popular dish called vareniki. Basically, it's something like raviolis with different stuff inside. So it could be potatoes, meat, cheese, cherry, or some different fruits. It depends on the family, like how they cook it. And it's also served with sour cream.
And now about some famous places, famous, like the biggest cities in Ukraine, and one of them is Lviv. It's considered to be cultural capital of Ukraine, and it's really old. I think it's years, and it has a lot of beautiful architecture, and it's you often call it Little Paris.
So Odessa is another big city of Ukraine. It's a huge port of the Black Sea. And there's a lot of sights to see. It has very beautiful architecture.
Next one is Kyiv. It's our capital. We're very proud of it. And actually, it's divided into 2 parts by the biggest river in Ukraine. It's called Dnipro. So we have left side and right side. Now you can see picture and the river background. It's really famous for its churches. We have a lot of beautiful churches in our capital, and they're really famous and old. Most of them, they are even more beautiful inside. They have a lot of paintings and art.
Eurovision, it's a very big song contest in Europe, and it will take place in Ukraine in 2017 because the previous winner was from Ukraine, and her name is Jamala. You can see her in the picture.
So the next thing we wanted to talk about is about holidays. Who doesn't like holidays? And the most important holidays for Ukrainians are New Year, Christmas, and Easter. We have a lot more holidays, but these are the most important.
So New Year, in Ukraine, New Year is much bigger of a deal than Christmas, and it's celebrated more than Christmas. So people usually spend time with their friends, and another important New Year tradition is giving gifts and decorating a Christmas tree.
So, in different, like Ukraine and United States, our Christmas is not on December 25th. our Christmas is on January 7th. So we usually put Christmas tree right before New Year, and it stays like in our houses for a whole month. And the most important things for Christmas is on Christmas Eve we cook 12 dishes, and it's really cool tradition.
Also, on Christmas, it's a tradition for teenagers to gather together and go and sing carols, and they usually receive some treats for it. Like in the past, there were some candies, but now it's usually money. This is, yeah, the famous song Carol the Bells is actually a Ukrainian carol. It was arranged by a Ukrainian composer and was later adopted as an English carol.
Next holiday is Easter. Easter is really important too, and it has a lot of traditions. The most important are decorating eggs. You can see some on the picture, and also cooking special pastry and saying Christ resurrected. Yeah. To every friend and relative you on the street or if you go to their houses.
So, for Easter, people usually go to church very early in the morning. Usually it's 5 p.m. or earlier, with baskets filled with treats and other goods like painted eggs. And they usually consecrate it in church, so it's considered a saint food or something like this.
So it's kind of a famous place in Ukraine. It's called like a love road. So basically, it was an old railroad, and it like has like these trees. I don't know how it happened, and people usually like to take pictures for their wedding here. That's why it's called love road. And this is one of the most famous castles in Ukraine, and it's famous because of its legend about a woman that was murdered by her husband, and her ghost now lives in that castle. But I was there and I've never seen that ghost.
So this is another castle. It's pretty preserved, but it dates back from the 13th century.
So next one is national clothing. Like usually we have red colors, black and white, but in summertime people wore also green and yellow and bright colors.
This is the parade of national clothing. People are not very aware of their past, so they start to wear traditional Ukrainian clothing in everyday life, and it was one of the days when they just decided to organize a parade displaying their national clothing.
I think it was on our Independence Day. On our Independence Day, we like to wear national clothing to show that we appreciate it and love our country. And in the very front, you can see the woman holding the bread, and it actually has a little bit of salt on it. And it means that if you receive bread and salt, it means that you're a very important guest, and people appreciate it.
Yes, and you may also see on the previous picture the red carpet, and the patterns are different for every area of Ukraine. So, and if you receive the bread with salt and with this red carpet, it's considered that you're a very important guest in the house.
So Ukrainians are very hospitable. I can say because we're Ukrainians, and you will receive a lot of gifts, and you will see like a table with a lot of food if you're a guest in Ukrainian family. And this is the end.
You told me you speak two different languages, right? Can you explain how that kind of...
Yeah, like in Ukraine, there is two widely spoken languages. It's Russian in the eastern part of Ukraine and Ukrainian in western part of Ukraine. So I come from eastern part of Ukraine, so like my first native language is Ukrainian. I'm sorry, Russian. But Ukrainian is taught in schools because the majority of all the schools are Ukrainian, so you learn all your classes in Ukrainian. And Ukrainian is very similar to Russian, so it's very easy to speak Ukrainian and Russian at the same time. And if you'll speak to a person in Ukrainian and he'll speak you back in Russian, you'll easily get along and understand each other.
Yeah, and how it happened, like in 17th century, there was a time when Ukraine was under Russian Empire control. So Russian emperor sent a lot of Russian people to eastern Ukraine to live there. So that's why they speak Russian now. Some other questions?
What are your cities where you come from?
My city is called Zaryshchiken. And I thought it was a little city, but it's like 10,000 people. But when I came to the bus, it was so little.
My city is called Zaporizhia. It's 750,000 people. And it's a very big industrial city, like a lot of plants and stuff like that. I'm okay to live in Rabat.
My city is actually famous for its tomatoes.
And our city is famous for environmental pollution.
Other questions? And thanks for your attention.
So I'm from country named Kazakhstan. And this is my flag. It represents freedom, blue color represents skies, and like sun represents independence. So this is geographical location of my country. It's right under Russia and it's close to China, and it's like that is the biggest country in the world. Our symbols is anthem, Chanarak. Chanarak is a crown-shaped painting, and flag. So our money calls tenge, and like $1 is 315 tenge. So like dollar is a pretty big value for us. So a little bit about place where we live. So we have a lot of mountains, like really popular because of their mountains. Because wherever you go, you can see like super close mountains, and a lot of tourists just like our city. It's called Almaty because of them. Here's some pictures of our nature. So Kazakh population is about 16 million people, and it includes a lot of different nations, just like in America, yes. So I'm Korean, and there's a lot of Kazakhs, Russians, and we are okay with each other. Also, there's a lot of different religions. My religion is Christian, but most of Kazakh are Muslim because Kazakhstan is originally a Muslim country. This is our president. He was the only president since 1991 because our country got independence in 1991. So a little bit about holidays. We have a lot of different holidays, but my favorite holiday is Independence Day, and it falls on December 16th. We have large festival, and we have a lot of fireworks, but in America it's illegal, so I was kind of disappointed, but there's a bunch of fireworks, seriously. And also, there is a big parade in the morning, and Like in my city, it's not as big as in our capital, but once I've been in capital, it's so beautiful. Like I don't know. Now this is kind of a year, and it falls on March 21st, and some people just celebrate like more than 2 months, and I think it's not okay, but some people just love this holiday, and we do a lot of Catholic games. But I think some Russian people or Catholic people just don't celebrate it because it's massive holiday. New Year. New Year, I don't know how to say about New Year because every family just celebrates different, I believe. So my family, we just put tree like month before New Year, and then on New Year Eve, we make a lot of food and then play games. And sometimes we can go to my grandma and grandma. Victory Day over fascist Germany, the World War II, and it's really, really important holiday for Kazakhstan, I believe, because we used to be the part of the Soviet Union, so we really appreciate everything when it runs down for us. And in the morning, we go to people who was part of World War II and bring them some food and candies, just to remind that we remember what they did for us. And also we have other holidays such as Valentine's Days, Father and Mother's Days, Easter, Day of Peace, and International Women's Day. So a little bit about my school. Schools in Kazakhstan is really different from schools in America. So to begin with, what we wear school uniform, and I really didn't like it. Like I came here and I was so happy that we didn't have a school uniform because I feel like I don't want to wear it. And since this year we have special school uniform for my school, and it has like blue jacket, this round thingy on the left part, and it says number 4 because my school is number 4. And like basically it's white top and black bottom, and if you don't wear it, you will have troubles. But I don't usually wear it. I wear it only on Mondays because our director comes on Mondays to check if we wear or not. So also in our school we have 25 subjects. Like we have 8 subjects, I believe, 1 year, and like you study 5 days, and each of these 5 days you have the same schedule. But in my country we have 6 days of school. That's it, and every day we have different subjects. So like Monday physics, chemistry, algebra, I don't know, biology and then other day is different. And we don't have as much holidays as you do. Like I know that in Nebraska, it's like you have like 1 inch of snow and like you close school, and we have like -40 degrees and we just go to school like every day. So, and in the summer, it's like our longest break is 3 months, but if you're a senior year, you have 2 months because you should prepare for this. So it's gonna be finished next 3 months. This is how we celebrate our New Year, and it's usually located in the sport gym, and we just put the Christmas tree and have some music, but I don't really go to the holiday because on New Year we usually have some competition, so if you don't participate you can go, but if you do, you can't. This is how elementary kids look like, so you can see school uniform and like how we sit. And by the way, grading system is different too. So like in America you have persons like from 1 to 100. In Kazakhstan we have like score from 1 to 5. 5 is highest, 1 is lowest, but no one is usually put 1 because it really affects that, not only for you, but for your school like system. And like in the end of the year, there's between schools there's competition, like which is the best school, and if you have students who pass once, it's like bad for your school. Some cities. This is my capital, Astana. This house is presidential house. This is like gates. Every city in Kazakhstan has their own gates. So whenever you go to any city, you'll have gates, and you usually take a picture there. This is Almaty, and you can see a lot of mountains. It's my favorite it's like the biggest city in my country. So I really love the city. This is my favorite place. It's the mall. Welcome to Almaty. This is wedding gates in Almaty. I don't know why it's called wedding gates. Like there's no reason for it, but whenever it's wedding, you just go there and take pictures. My city in the time. This is my favorite place in the winter. It's called Odessa. So it's located like far in the mountains, like on the very top. And there's like big ice skating place, as you can see there. And in the summer, there's like roller coasters, something called roller coaster. So I usually go there. This is that big building, like the very tallest. There used to be two of them, and we used to call it twin towers, but now there's only one. Like I don't remember what happens. It's kind of weird. And this building reminds me of Russian Kremlins because it's kind of look like it, and it's actually a museum in Almaty's park, and it has a lot of weird things inside of it. So in the winter you can go there and you'll see ice, like ice figures, like different characters, I don't know. And there's usually galleries in the place. This is how, like, the progress of our capital in certain years. So Christians have church and Muslims has mosques. So my country is Muslim, and there's a lot of mosques like this, and they look really, really pretty, especially like when sun rises. It's the golden part is kind of like shining, so beautiful. But I've never been inside. But a lot of my friends go there like every Sunday. And this is my city, and there's like the last building is my house. So in Odessa we don't really use houses. We live in apartments because it's like much cheaper. You don't have to pay for a lot of water and stuff. And actually, I think it saves a lot of space because in the big cities it's kind of hard to live like in the houses. So we just prefer apartments. That's all. Do you have any questions?
What does my kids say?
What?
What does my kids say at our holidays?
Kids Day? It's June 1st. Just wait, what do you mean?
What is it? Explain what that was.
Oh, so basically many years ago, like 15 years ago, there was like the year of kidnapping kids in the part where I live. So they make like the kids, they wear kids like free, and then we usually have like free parts, you know, like different entertainment centers. They are free for kids, and it falls on June 1st. So yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to talk to you about how I came here, like why I am in America now. And I want to ask my friends to come here too. So there is such kind of big like exchange program, and it's called FLEX. It means Future Leader Exchange. So in each country, not each country, in my country and in Ukraine and other countries, there is such competition between students from 10th to 12th, from 9th to 10th grade, from 9th to 10th grade, and so there's 3 tours. First tour, they're usually, in my city there was like 1,000 people, and from 1,000 only like me and one girl went to America. So like I think it's very good competition. So the first tour is like 15 minutes test. It's very easy. It just shows your grammar skills and stuff. And after the first tour, usually there's like half of people is cut off.
So this FLEX program, which means Future Leader Exchange, lets students like us from Central Asia or anywhere in Asia. And there are other programs which in Southeast Asia or in Africa, where students like us study in the US or in other very major countries to have experience meeting other people, making more friends and telling about our countries and knowing about your countries. And we really appreciate this opportunity given by this Flex program. So, any questions?
Okay, I'll tell you about other tours, I guess. So second tour is, if you go to second tour, you have to write your essays, and it's usually not like the say you write about your dream or something. It's just like super weird essays. First time when I went there, I was like, what is this? It was like, what will be if you will get lost in other town? And it actually never happened to me, but I said that it happened because you would better show like yours that you can like solve. And actually, there's more essays about situations, market situations. And after second tour, there's only one third, I believe, goes to third tour. And the third tour is really hard for me. It was hard. Yeah, only 2% of all people who went go to America.
2% of people who attend the Flex program can succeed and get to be an exchange student. For example, if you want to enter the Oxford University, there is a 6% chance, and it's 2%. It's even harder than going to Oxford, literally.
Okay. And then, so in third tour is divided on 3 parts. So first part is first part is CLTs, it's test, and I don't believe it's can affect on your results, but it just shows how high is your English level. Second part is essay, it's 2 essay, and like each year they repeat the same question: why do you want to go to America? Expect improve your English.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, critical thinking. And then the second essay is usually different each year. And then you wait a few hours, and then you go to game. And this game was the funniest part of Flex. Like seriously, you just get a group of Flexers, and then you play. And my task was to make a commercial about pencil. It was like, how are we gonna make a commercial about pencil? And they give us like 20 minutes, and we made this stupid commercial about pencil. But the point not about pencil, point about like how you can communicate to other kids, how you like get used to other things. So then
we wait.
Struggle waiting 4 months
Yeah.
or 5 months
I was waiting 6 months, and I was literally going to their page every day, like checking if I'm finalist or not.
The hardest part was waiting.
Yeah, it was really hard. Like I remember I had time when I had like stress because of it. Yeah, I think that's all.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now there's presentation prepared by our Spanish exchange students. Andre,
All right, so
wait.
introduce myself. Hey, Monday.
Yeah.
Right. España. I am André Murecherdado, and I'm going to do a presentation about my country. First, I want to situate Spain on the map. Spain, western part of Europe. You can see that's pretty small. And I also want to mention those islands there, they also belong to Spain. So Spain is a country that's in 2 continents, both Africa and Europe. All right. This is like the political map of Spain. These are pretty much like what you would call states here. Madrid, capital. And this is where I live, Valladolid. And we're also going to talk about Barcelona. I'm guessing most of you have heard of those 2 cities, because they're quite Now, you've seen on the map the size of Spain. It is quite small. I mean, it's smaller than Texas. But because of its different geography, it has mountains, valleys, all kinds of things. You get in that small area, which is more or less at the same latitude, you can see completely different landscapes. This is the south of Spain, which is a complete desert. How many of you here have seen the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Evil? Okay, some hands there? Yes, yes. So that's a Western. It's supposed to take place in America. It was filmed in the south of Spain. But it was cheaper and all that, but it has the same basic. It's the same views. Now, this is the north of Spain. There, because of the mountains, it rains every day. It's all green. You see lakes, all that. There are a lot of natural reserves, natural parks there. And this is the region where I live, Castilla, which is more like in the center. It's on a plateau and it's flat and it has the windmills are really characteristic of that area. Now the history of Spain. So Spain, as you've seen, is like just north of Africa. This is Africa right here, Morocco. You see that? What? Let's go with Penal. Those are 10 miles. That's really close to Spain. So what happened in the 1700s is that the Muslims came to the peninsula and stayed there for nearly 700 years. So all of their culture stayed there. Nowadays in Spain we have a lot of their eventually, in the same day that America was discovered, the same year, and the Muslims were picked up with the peninsula. So they stayed there until the 15th century. Okay, Muslim influence. So we can start with the architecture. When the Muslim, clear example was Cordoba. When the Muslims were in Cordoba, which is kind of the center of Spain, they built a mosque. And when the Christians conquered, in the middle of that mosque, they built a cathedral. So it was kind of to show power. On the other hand, we have the Muslim influence on the Spanish language. You know what this word means? Water, that's right, it comes from water. You know what this means? That's a Muslim influence. What? Yeah, right. Also food, paella. Paella is a typical dish from the east coast of Spain, the Mediterranean coast. Paella comes from the Muslim meal, pilav, which is also rice with seafood and much of things there. Now, I'm going to talk to you, tell you about some important cities. And then starting with the capital. Now, I want you to keep in mind that when you're looking at European cities, what you highlight is not the same as American cities. Europe has a much longer history. Therefore, usually when you're a tourist in Europe, what you're looking for is for like the old side of town. You want to see the cathedral. You want to see the old museum. All those kind of things. So this is Madrid, that's the capital, right in the center of Spain. I'm going to start with the main square. The interesting things about Spanish squares is that they are actually squared. So you look from above, they're square. And that's the thing that started in Spain and was imitated throughout Europe. And in many Spanish cities you see that how their buildings are on the square. Okay. On the other hand, this would be like the Central Park in New York for Madrid. This is Parque del Retiro, and it's a place, well, pretty much recreation. You know. And this is the Museum of El Prado. Has anyone heard of that museum? Here. Has anyone heard of Le Louvre in Paris? Okay, this is pretty much the Louvre of Madrid. That's also really important art pieces. And soccer. Soccer in Spain is a big deal. It's a big deal. how many of you have heard about Real Madrid? I see you there. Yes, Real Madrid. This is their stadium, Santiago Bernabéu. And so there's Madrid, and on the other hand, there's Real Barcelona. This is their stadium. Barcelona, on the other hand, is kind of a more of a new modern town. All the architecture in Barcelona springs around this guy, Antonio Banderas, the most important Spanish architect, modern Spanish architect. And you get to see his style. You see how this is all, this is not the thing that you usually see. All those curves, all those colors, he wanted to imitate nature. And another, probably one of the most iconic buildings in Spain is La Sagrada Familia, this cathedral, also made by him. This is not a conventional cathedral. You see how these are not straight, they have an inclination. It's not built yet, it will be built in like 40 years or so. But this is a really important thing. Moving on, Valladolid, that's where it is. Again, the square, it's the same thing as Madrid, square, yeah, and the cathedral. Now, why am I highlighting cathedrals? Because in Europe, back in the Middle Age, when a city wanted to show its power, what they did was to build the biggest cathedral possible. The more money you had, the more money you could invest in your cathedral, the more showy you were. So every city tried to build the biggest cathedral. This was going to be the biggest cathedral in Europe, but was stopped because we didn't have enough funds. And I'm assuming you have heard about Christopher Columbus, right? Well, does anyone know where he was born? Well, not exactly. The thing is, some say it's Spain, it's Italian Spain, it's Italy, Portuguese claim it's Portugal. The thing that's known for sure is that the people that investigated history were the Spanish kings. I did this thing. Back in the 15th century. And this is where he lived. This is his house. We have it in Valladolid. And that's kind of a thing that we try. Now, Granada. I'm going to talk about the south of Spain. Remember how I mentioned Muslim influence, right? Well, probably the most important palace in Spain is Alhambra. This palace is a Muslim palace. You can see the Muslim influence in all the water, the arts, shit like that. And one thing I would like to outstanding thing is this family here. In case you didn't know, in Muslim culture, in Muslim religion, it's forbidden to sculpt either people or animals. It's considered to be an idol, so you can't do it. For some reason, this is the only place where Muslims have actually sculpted animals, and it's right there, it's Spain, in Alhambra. So that's another thing that makes a big problem. Now, Spanish traditions. I'm assuming you kind of are familiar with this. You see the image of the Spaniard as a matador with the red cape messing with the bull. Well, it's kind of a touchy issue right now because on one hand there's people who say this is a tradition, this should be maintained, and on the other hand there's the people that say this is animal cruelty, that this cannot go on and it must be stopped. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. There have been some laws, but do not mess that with this. This is San. This is the 7th of July in the north of Spain. A bunch of people run on the streets by the bulls. They release the bulls on the streets and they just run through a circuit until they reach the main square. This attracts a bunch of tourists, people just like this, and you can run by the bull, or if you just go YOLO in front of the bull. Many people, I mean, every year there's some tourist who dies because they don't know what they're doing. I want to go there, I am going there. And yeah, so this is not animal cruelty, you're not harming the bull, just running by there. Then in the square they try to get as close to the bull as they can. Procesiones. During Easter, a Catholic thing is to go on the streets with sculptures of religious moments of the Bible. They are just like Ku Klux Klan, it has nothing to do with it. It's just that they want to be anonymous. They're supposed to be purifying their sins by doing that because it's how it works. These are the different colors of different Catholic orders, like they're in Canada. Now, there are two main cities where this is a big, big deal. The first one is Sevilla, I don't know if you've heard of it, and the second one is Valladolid, the city where I come from. All these pictures are from Valladolid. Everyone's on the streets, everyone watches the Cuisine. Food. Spain is a peninsula, so a lot of its food uses seafood. I've mentioned the paella, which has mussel influence, which is rice with mussels, with shrimp, with also a yellow flour that gives it a special that yellow tone. It's really good. Usually when people gather like 10 or 12 people and they make a big paella from which they all eat, because you don't usually make just you need a big pan. Then also seafood. This is octopus a la gallega. This is done in the north of Spain, and it's pretty much raw octopus. Then this is pretty much food from where I come from. It's in the inner Spain, so they don't have that much seafood. And this is from the south. These are typical dishes from the south. Now, history of Spain. Spain wasn't always that developing there. Back in the 16th, 17th century, it occupied all of that. That was the glory of the Spanish Empire. And also the Philippines back then. Why are the Philippines called the Philippines? Because of Felipe II, who was the king that ruled this division of the people. So, my point is, because of that big empire, that's why Spanish is the second, the language is the second most native speakers after Chinese. Literature. How many of you have heard of Don Quixote de la Mancha? Don Quixote, I don't know what you call it. Yes, right? Some of you. That's the biggest Spanish book, the most important one, and one of the biggest ones at international literature level. This is the author, and he's said to be as good as Shakespeare, even though they wrote different things. Actually, they died the same day, 23rd of April, and it's considered to be the day of the book. So they lived at the same time. Yeah. It's this guy is that so important that we actually put him on our currency, on the euro, because each country gets to put their own thing on the euro, just like you do with the borders in America. So that's the author about it. Now, I'm going to do kind of a thing just like they did. I am the flexible event. That's for former communist countries. They didn't get that. So, how did I get here? Why am I right here talking to all of you? Why am I this paid? Well, my scholarship was paid by this guy, Amancio Ortega. This is like the second richest man in the world. Has a bunch of money. And he owns these shops. In Europe, are really popular. I haven't seen any of these here. Does anyone know any of these shops? No? No. Right. Well, he gives away, each year, he gives away 500 scholarships. 250 for Canada, 250 for the US, I had to choose. And well, when I found out about this, like in October 2 years ago, I was like, I'm not gonna get it. It's 500 for the whole Spain. There are a bunch of kids that actually applied for those. But I applied, it cost me. And I was like, yeah, I want to study in the US. I took the first exam, I passed, and was like, okay, now what? Second exam. Skype call in which they checked my English level. I passed that again, so I was like January saying, I'm going to the US next year. I'm going to be an exchange student. I am going to live the full American experience. And here I am now, and I'm telling you, if anyone has like the slightest intention of going abroad and being an exchange student, even if it's not, if you go to an English-speaking country, a country where you don't have to learn other languages, I think you should try that, but never mind. Try it. If you have the slightest intention, go for it. It's an amazing experience. It changes the way you see things. I did not think it would be such a big difference from my motherland to here. And I have a hell of a story to tell when I go back to Spain. I totally encourage you to go for it. You go abroad, go see something else. It opens your mind so much more. Besides, you get to meet so much more people. All these guys, I mean, I not only get American culture, but talking with them, I get culture from Ukraine, from Kazakhstan, from Turkmenistan. It's all around the globe. It's so worth it. So worth it. Well, that was pretty much it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you guys a lot for coming and watching us. Yes, for everything. It's really fun to be here, being an exchange student. You get to learn a lot more than you think. And you get to do a lot more than you think, even more than you imagined. So, anyways, it was fun to tell you about our countries and to know about your countries. I hope it was fun for you guys too. It was good. Thanks.
Any questions? Any questions?
So all of you have to learn English. Like a required class for everyone.
You mean like in our motherland or here? What do you mean? Yeah, my motherland. Yeah, yes, I've been learning English ever since I was in university.
Have you ever seen a bullfight?
Can you guys say that again, please?
Huh? Have you ever seen a bullfight?
No, I've never been to a natural place. I've on the internet or whatever. On the side that thinks that it's animal cruelty, I think that it's just not. It's not. There's no difference between the same thing. It's not. But
What's the most fun thing you've been in America?
I don't know if I can sit here. Okay, thank you very much.
What's your favorite part about America?
So first of all, beef jerky. Second of all, I really enjoy the spirit that there is for the schools. In Spain, there's schools there like the place that kids go to study, and here, everything spins around the local team. Everyone supports the local team, and that's a thing that is amazing because that feeling of unity, a thing of belonging to something, and everyone's equal, everyone's a warrior. That's awesome. I love that. We don't have that in Spain. At the basketball match, you're happy if you have 10 parents watching. Yeah.
My friend wants to know how old you are.
How old does she think I am?
16. She thinks you're 16.
Well, she can. Let's go with that.
Where else have you been?
Say that other, please.
Where else have you been?
You have to. Wow, in another country.
Yeah.
Oh, so Andrei Murashan is not a Spanish name. It's a Romanian name. My parents are from Romania. I really go often to Romania. And, well, I've visited a little bit of Europe, France, Italy, Switzerland, something that's close there. I'm telling you, traveling, it's worth it. You see so many different things. And if you don't have money for it, I don't have money for it. There's always someone willing to pay for it. I'm telling you, you should search. You should seek someone who can pay. Yeah, it's opportunity. Yes?
Do you play piano? Do you play piano?
I pay the piano.
You can play it?
Can I? I need like special permission or something. I'm like, I'm a guest, can I just What do you want me to play? What do you want me to play? Okay. Okay, so I have like forget me right now. I have like here, because some other class has me to like something I have printed, like I have a Romanian piece, ragtime, or some random thing. You'll have to excuse me, I'm going back to memory, so I may slip sometimes.
We're aggressive.
I think that's like the genre of music that was fit for jazz. And Scott Joplin is the man. And just like, what, an encore, that's what you call it? Encore?